We's live. Good morning, YouTube land. Hello, it is me, your girl, your favorite blogger, Lady Blue, coming at you. We are live. We will be coming in with us. I ain't gonna say nothing until I get on air, but y'all better hang with me today because it's Thursday. Y'all know I'm hyper on Thursdays. You know I'm gonna get loud. You know I'm gonna talk about some stuff. We got some stuff to talk about, so just hang with me. Make sure that you share the YouTube link. Come on over and subscribe, okay? My face is a whole lot of stuff it should not say. My facial expressions are crazy. So what made you do this? I was looking for another way to get the positive message out. I mean, because I write, I have my blog, I do all of those things, but I needed another avenue. And a few of my friends, one of my friends up in Philly, who's a radio show host, said, "You know what? You got the voice for radio, you got the attitude for radio, you know, do a radio show." And I said, I don't know about that. Another friend of mine who's a radio show host, he did it from Charm City Direct. Okay. He said, just go ahead and do a radio show. You know, not anything you don't know. You talk. And I was like, okay. And then my cousin just said, go do what you know. Go on ahead. So I, found Tia. Well, she was actually introduced to me through E Digger. Okay. And we actually got to know each other on the way to an award show in Capitol Heights. And, are you talking about the one we went to? Titan Arts Awards. They hosted their show. Yeah, technically. Is that the one we just went to last year? Oh, okay. And so I got to know Tia, and then I just requested a meeting with her, and she said, "Sure, come on in, let's see what you got." And I'm almost 3 years in the making. Oh, okay. All right. And so now I write for her magazine, State versus Us. I also done articles for Compulsive magazine. There's a couple other magazines. I did Urban Image magazine before it went bye-bye. And a couple before it went bye-bye. And it went bye-bye quick without notice. Couple others, and then, I published my own personal story, my own poetry book. I co-authored a couple books, so it's just been okay. Something I like to do, and my husband says it's a good avenue because I like to talk and you don't have to hear it all the time. I cannot. That sounds like Dennis to me all the time. While we're waiting to go on air, ladies and gentlemen, on my Facebook page, I am less than 2 weeks away from the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. I am hoping and praying that all of you can send me your energy and your prayers. So when I bring the crown back to Gettysburg, Maryland, Montgomery County, she's claiming it, y'all. I'm claiming it. I am claiming it. I mean, if you knew the backstory of everything that has happened and how many times I wanted to quit and where Miss Lorraine at? So I can tell her, look, it's claiming it don't happen because she's been against on my show. Oh! Miss Lorraine. Damn, look at me, girl, already claiming it. Yes, but I'm gonna bring the crown back. So I just want you to send me your energy, your prayers, and watch me do what people told me I couldn't do. Nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's Lorraine.
You part of the She is the director. Miss Lorene Coleman Ross is the director of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. She was also a contestant in the Miss Full Figure USA pageant, and she won the swimwear part of the contest. Thank you to my 4 people who have stayed watching with me. I appreciate you. I'm sorry, 3.
That's all right. They gonna come back.
Well, with your phone, I'm looking at your phone and it says 4. So, yeah.
They gonna come back.
Yeah. No, don't leave me. So now it's down to 3 on your phone. Y'all don't leave me yet.
Don't leave. We get started. We gotta warm up, people.
Hosted by Arlene Major, aka Lady Blue. 50 Shades of Blue, Domestic Violence Awareness Event.
The 4th annual.
The 4th annual. So October 20th, from 12 to 6. I'll put the information on my page as well. This will definitely be something that you can get into and support because we don't do domestic violence. So I'll put that information on as well.
Feel free to take as many flyers as you
Oh,
like.
honey, I'm looking.
Post them. Share them.
Wait a minute. Is your husband a pastor?
No.
Oh. Is this you on this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's our show we do on Fridays.
Oh, child, from when I saw the book, I thought it was a Bible child.
Yeah. It kind of is.
Okay.
We do spiritual values and daily living. So
okay.
it's we take our faith and then we apply it to the things that we know and we do every day.
Okay.
So we talk about marriage, we talk about relationships, we talk about family, we talk about kids, we talk about it all. We don't just center on one thing.
Right. Okay.
So we've had the singers, the some of our friends that are married couples. They talk about the issues they've had in their marriage and how their faith has helped them get through that.
Okay.
We did when the Baltimore ceasefire started. We did a 2-hour prayer session in here. That was like our first or second show when we did that. So yeah, we just kind of try to bring in community and
this is here.
Look good.
You don't want to be on camera, but you want to be on camera.
Okay. Y'all know.
Only in this for
All right, peoples, we about to get in with the Lady Blue Good Morning song, so I hope you're ready. Oh. All right, y'all better get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
It's your girl, your baby blogger, Lady Blue, and you are listening to the Lady Blue Radio Show live on WMSKOnlineRadio.com, where talk radio just got.
Ready? Let's go. 5. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 4. Hey, hey, hey. 3. Here we go. 2, 1. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Come on. That's right. Let's go. Good morning. Y'all ready? Hey, y'all tuned into Lady Blue 4. I am about to do something new, something true. Come on. I woke up this morning feeling like I want to dance. New day, new blessings. Live, learn lessons, answers, questions. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. Been through the fire, I'm a survivor. Satan even tried us. So much going on in the world, it won't stop us. Oh, we got faith. All my prayer warriors pray. This is what I gotta say. Lady Blue Radio Show is how you start your day. This is what I gotta say. Lady Blue Radio Show is how you start your day. Good morning. Hey. This is my boy Kojo. If y'all don't know Mr. Annapolis, y'all better get to know Mr. Annapolis because he is everywhere. You have been forgiven. Yes. Come on. Weepy may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That's right. Good morning. And we are live, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is me, it's your girl, it's your favorite blogger, Lady Blue, and I'm coming at you live right here, the home of Cheryl Underwood Radio, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., WMSKOnlineRadio.com, where talk radio just got better. How y'all doing? I'm awake. Y'all know that. Thursdays are a day for me where this is not coffee, this is not caffeine, this is just me, okay? I am like this every day. Ask my husband, okay? He's like, no, calm down. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Natural energy, God-given energy, I'm good. All right, so let's focus. What do we have going on in the world today? Oh my goodness. We ain't gonna touch on too much because we get off on a whole nother freeway and get to talking, and I ain't even going there. But first of all, know that I got a special guest in the studio with me, and we gonna get to her in a minute, okay? But we want to touch on some positive things that are going on around the world, in the country, so on and so forth. And we're gonna start off, as my screen comes up, we're gonna start off with some happy birthday notes. How about that? So today I want to wish my friend Patricia Shell a happy birthday. Brenda Northway. I know she's been going through some things, but Brenda, happy birthday. Thinking of you, love. My boy Hoop, Josh Hooper, Matt Roman, and AJ Storyteller. Yes, happy birthday. If your birthday is today and you're not on my timeline, well, I'm still going to wish you a happy birthday. You may not get your name called out, but you still get a happy birthday. And for all of you August babies, you Leos that are out there, happy birthday. Celebrate the right way, celebrate safely. Please don't do nothing that I wouldn't do, and that's a whole lot, okay? So anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and get with some positive stories. I have been posting positive stories left and right on the Lady Blue Positive Inspiration page, so let's go pick a couple of them and talk about them. Okay, and one of the other things that I do want to talk about today is that everybody, I believe, if you're in Baltimore and you haven't seen the story, you live under a rock, and it has to do with a viral video of a young lady who was experiencing domestic violence on the MTA bus, and the young lady who stepped in for her. She went in on homeboy, and we're gonna talk a little bit about a domestic violence advocate. I commend her for her actions, but I want to make sure that y'all understand. Not everybody is meant to be a Joe or Joanna vigilante. So please do not try to put yourself in the middle of a domestic violence situation because you do not want to become the statistic. Because the mindset of an abuser can go from 0 to 1,000 in less than a couple of seconds. So we're going to get to that one. But my first positive story for y'all today is about teachers who donated their sick leave to a colleague who was battling colon cancer. Y'all gonna have to go and see this story because there's a lot to this story. But this man who discovered he had colon cancer did not have the leave to cover sick leave, did not want to stop teaching, did not want to do this. The teachers in his community gathered around him and donated their sick leave to make sure that he could still continue to teach as he felt up to it and make sure that he was able to take the appropriate leave without losing pay. okay, to get his cancer treatment. So thank God for them, okay, because you don't have a lot of people that like to do that. You really, really don't. Okay. So continuing to move on, there was a story out. I did post a story video. Y'all need to go and see this. This is about a young man who plays piano. Beautiful young man, African American young man. The uniqueness of the story is he is he's limited in fingers and he's limited in hands. He's got one full hand, but it only has two working fingers on it, and then the other arm just basically has one finger on it. So he's not fully developed, but you have to go and listen to the video because he is just playing so beautifully. It's like it don't even matter. So he's not letting his disability stop him, so you should not let yours if you have one. Another one, a lot of people looked at this and said, okay, this man got issues. But you know what? I call him the cat whisperer, okay? Because he is a man that goes out and he saves cats the humane way. He does not kill them. He does not trap them in a harmful way. He does it with kindness and love, and they call him the Trap King down there where he's at. He takes these cats to the Humane Society. He gets them vaccinated. He gets them spayed or neutered, and then he takes them back out to where they were. He does not put them in a situation where they could lose their lives because, almost 9,000 animals a day get euthanized across the United States. So he sees these cats as his friends. He sees these cats as a source of comfort. So, and he also sees these cats as, or himself being a voice for the voiceless. And you have to see the video because he talks to the cats. It's absolutely hilarious. But there's a lot of positive and inspiring stories on the Lady Blue page. There's also one about a Pennsylvania dad who did something for his late son's girlfriend. He took her to prom. His son died in a car accident on the way back from college, coming home to take his girlfriend to her prom. So it devastated her. She said she didn't want to go to prom. She didn't want anything to do with it. And the dad stepped in, and the parents on both sides were overjoyed that he stepped up and took the place of his son to make sure that she could enjoy her prom for high school. So we appreciate that. That took place in Pennsylvania. So y'all just got to go on over to the Lady Blue radio page, the Lady Blue Positive Inspiration page. It's just called Lady Blue, and see the positive stories that are there. One more story, and I love this story, and it's about the dolls. I talked a little bit about this last week, and it's about the dolls that are being made to replicate the skin disease called vitiligo. It's where you have the patches of skin that don't fully develop, like the melanin, okay? It's not so much a disease, it's just you don't get the melanin in those spots. So it comes out in different ways. So a creator that was inspired by model Winnie Harlow, who has this disease, fashioned these dolls, and they are a hit. Girls around the country and around the world are picking up these dolls and loving them because they don't feel like they are alone or stand out anymore. So y'all got to take a look at what's going on the Lady Blue page and see all the positive that is going on around the country. Now, one thing that I do want to touch on, I did mention before we go over to break, and I'm going to bring my special guest in after commercial break, and I'm going to tell you all that is author Necol, and I'm excited because I really want her to tell you all about what she has going on, her book. We're going to talk about the mess fire. We're going to talk about all of that. But the one thing I do want to talk about real quick before we go on commercial break is that viral video of the young lady that was on the bus being terrorized by her boyfriend. I put that up in quotes. And the lady who came to her defense. She just was not going to stand by and let this man terrorize this woman. Apparently, everyone on the bus witnessed this man strike this young lady. She was scared. She refused to move out of her seat. This man paced back and forth in this bus like a caged lion, trying to get her off the bus, this, that, and the other. But this lady refused to let her get off this bus. She refused to let this man terrorize anybody else. And she even told him, come on, bring it. She told him point blank, I'll cut your stuff off for you if she won't do it. Now, Mind you, girlfriend was feeling the adrenaline, okay? I'm not condoning that type of action. She stood in the gap for this young girl, and I'm gonna say that she was a young lady because she couldn't have been not even 20. I don't think. I think she was still a teenager, early 20s. Anyway, the point of the matter being is that she was scared. She didn't know which way to go. She didn't know which way to turn. This young lady stepped in and told her that his hitting you is not love. Please do not equate love with pain, please. Now, what you do behind closed doors in your bedroom, that's on you. But what I'm talking about is if he says that he has to hit you in order to love you, or if she has to hit you in order to love you, it's time to step away. It is time to step away. Love is not physical pain. It is not physical torture. It is not keeping you from your family or your friends. It is not keeping you from money that you've earned. It is not telling you how to dress. It is not telling you, it's basically not directing your life. It is not waiting for you outside of your job every day of the week, making sure nobody talks to you, making sure nobody touches you. That is not love, ladies and gentlemen. It is really, really not love. I can give a shout out to Val Jenkins of Hug Don't Shoot. She did reach out to this young lady. Many of us reached out to this young lady who really at this time does not want the help. She does not, family is stepping in saying, back off, so on and so forth. And we have to understand that a victim of that kind of abuse has to want the help. We can offer it day in, day out, up, down, left, and right till we're blue in the face. But if they are not receptive and they are not ready to get out, they will not get out.
Girl, if you don't preach.
I'm just telling y'all what I know because I myself am a survivor and a thriver from domestic violence. So I know where I speak. When you're in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen if you leave, you don't know what's going to happen or how you're going to be accepted by a family and by friends, and your self-esteem has been basically, put lower than a rock, and that's kind of low, okay? You have to understand that until we get that strength to say, I'm done, and we're ready to take that first step, which is a fearful step because you don't know what's going to happen. Until we're ready to do it, we can talk blue in the face. Believe me, believe me, believe me. And sometimes, even as a victim, you'll lie just to get people out your face. Okay, I'm just being real with y'all. But that's why I do what I do. And we're going to talk about 50 Shades of Blue a little later. You all know I got to talk about that. But I would really love to hear your opinions about it. So y'all got to come on over to YouTube, please. Come on over to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let's chat about it. Let's chat about this video and what happened and see if we can come up with a solution, because I offer resources. I offer an opportunity to talk. I offer an opportunity to be surrounded by those that have been in this situation, that can offer you the understanding and the love and not talk to you like you lost your mind, because we have been through it. So I just want to put that out there. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and go on over and pay some bills, and we're going to come back with my special guest, author Necol. And we're going to talk about her writing. We're going to talk about what she got going on. We're going to go back and forth about what? We talk about immigration. We talk about domestic violence. We can talk about the craziness in Baltimore City, especially with that viral video of the police officer. And that, that one has been lighting it up. Let me tell you, okay, that's two hot topics for y'all. Two, okay. But we're going to talk about a few of those things. And, so much is going on in the world. What's the other hot topic? The 300 priests up there in Pennsylvania. Could we please come up with anything else? And then I don't know if y'all have noticed, but every day since the start of this week, there has been at least 3 or 4 missing children reported on social media. Amber Alerts.
And those are the ones that were reported.
Thank you. So we got lots to talk about. So y'all keep it locked right here. Join us on YouTube Live. Join the conversation. Join us on Facebook if that's where you're at. Join us on Facebook. But we're going to keep it rolling in here, and y'all know how we do. This is Lady Blue, the Lady Blue Radio Show, live right here on the home of Cheryl Underwood Radio, WMSKOnlineRadio.com, where talk radio just got better. Don't go nowhere.
So, Anthony Fisher tells me to tell you hello.
Hello, Mr. Fisher.
I have known Anthony for so long.
Where you been? How about that?
Where you been, she said.
to turn down the music. I'm about to crack this door because it is starting to warm up in here. You know why they turn down the air?
How long are you going to be going?
About 5-7 minutes.
You took forward so you can wake up.
You know me, when I get water, I'm done.
He ready to go to sleep. Girl. Y'all, thank you for my little followers that have joined me. Believe me, once I come on, it will be an inspirational.
Make sure you unlock the door so you don't have to bang on it.
We'll talk about a whole lot of things. Definitely talk about my book and these 300 priests. He said, Wally, laugh out loud.
Man, you need to come see me because
You
I
need to
ain't
come
seen
see
you in a
her.
hot second.
Because she ain't seen you in a hot second.
I ain't seen you
minutes,
since you
hours,
left
or
me.
days. You shouldn't have left her.
Yep.
She ain't say that part. She said,
You should have. Yeah, I did. And you should not have left me.
said you shouldn't have left her.
I ain't lying. You shouldn't have gone nowhere.
Daggone it.
There's your Thursday throwback for y'all. Little FWB. How about that?
And I totally forgot that we were on camera on your YouTube
That's all right.
there. And I was like, who is she talking to over there? Again, I have 9 days until I bring the crown for the Miss Full Figure DMV Plus Queen to Montgomery County. I'm super duper excited, and I'm already claiming it into existence. You have to understand. He says he'll do better. Proud of you too. Oh, thank you. You have to speak things into existence, and your words are powerful, very powerful. You need to understand the power of your words, and the power of my word for me bringing that crown is going to help me bring that crown back to Montgomery County, and also the work and stuff that I do. You already know my platform, and we'll talk about that more when we start talking about it on the show. But for all of my followers, you already know mental health, sexual abuse, and childhood trauma are my platforms. I've got some exciting news for some things. Some things I wish that I could tell you, but you just have to wait around and see. You gotta move in silence sometimes. That's hard for me because I like telling y'all.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I gotta keep this to myself.
Right. It's just like, I guess because all my entire life, people was, if I didn't do something that I said I wanted to do or that I was going to do, oh, you said you're going to do this. You know how people are. And
you know the difference between back in the day and now. Back in the day, you could open your mouth and you could tell somebody something. Okay. And once they saw you do it, then it'd be like, all right. You. Now you tell somebody something, they darn near ready, skippy to go and claim it as their own, do their own thing with it, claim they came up with it, and look at you and not even give you accolades for you coming in.
Yeah.
Now we have to understand that we're not out for just accolades, okay? We're not out for you to pat us on the back all the time and do all these things. But come on, if you gonna steal, I mean, they say, imitation is the best form of flattery, but imitation, not theft, not jealousy, not backstabbing, not hypocrisy, not talking out the side of your neck, not being two-faced. Could I go on? Yes, I could.
Yes, she could.
So, there's just a lot of things. Everybody needs to stay in their own lane.
Right.
Some of us do the same thing, but we just do it differently.
Girl, I just spoke on this. I did a Facebook Live, and I was talking about, if you go on my videos, y'all find it, but I was talking about if you stay in your own lane, nothing and nobody can stop you from what you're supposed to be doing. Even if you're doing the same thing that somebody else is doing, you do it different. You do it your way, and nobody can stop you from what you were supposed to be doing. Jesse, you do have the same confidence as I do. You just got to dig deep down inside and go and get it. Everything you need is already in you.
Is that a loud thing?
Huh?
Is that a loud thing?
Yes. I mean, we can kick it on at breaks, but then it has to go off after when we go on here.
I don't know why I'm always hot.
I'm always cold, so.
What are you talking about? That's not loud.
It'll pick up. All right, y'all. And we also gonna, when we come back online, we're gonna say a little something about the Queen of Soul, Miss Aretha Franklin, because I do want to mention that you got a whole lot of people out there that trying to count her homegirl for dead. She ain't dead. She is resting comfortably at home. Jesse Jackson done seen her. Stevie Wonder went to visit. No, it's like Roland Martin has been to see her. A lot of high profile celebrities have been to see Aretha. She's in good spirits. She's talking. She's alert. She's awake. So stop trying to count her out. Okay. When the Lord ready to take her home, trust me, she knows. Okay. She grew up in the church. She ain't dumb. Okay.
A friend on my page, Jesse Reynolds, says, Lady Boo is an awesome speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All y'all that are on her feet, I better see you on October 20th. I'm telling you already now.
And I will put the information in the comments or have Dennis do it. Somebody.
Talk radio just got better.
Yes, Comfort. Hey, where did I hear that at?
Just right there.
Oh.
We say it all the time.
I heard that somewhere before.
How do you get rid of black ants in the house?
You know, my friend Ed, he's a hoot. And if you're listening, I love you, but he is crazy. I work with him. And he is just kind of all serious about his job, but then he'll see me and he'll stop and go, how you doing? He has been my little big brother since I moved to Baltimore and started working for the state. He has kept up with me and made sure, like a big brother would do.
Where did you move from?
My home of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
It's hot down there, ain't it?
It's desert country.
Yep. Yeah. I went to Houston. I went to visit my dad in Texas. I was 11, so I don't remember what year that was. But honey, when I tell you it was hot down there.
You better understand there's a difference between dry heat and wet heat.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Southwest, but my family hails from the Louisiana area. Now, for all y'all who are listening to me, that was the question y'all should have had answered to get the Boulder ticket for last week's event. Anyway, so I'm used to wet heat and dry heat. What do I prefer? Dry heat.
Why?
Because let me tell you, Louisiana, 90 plus degrees and the humidity, just take your towel and soap outside because it ain't going to make no sense for you to get in the shower because by the time you get out the shower, you're going to be sweating anyway. So,
I don't know. I'm originally from Philly and grew up here. For me, heat is heat.
trust me,
100
go
degrees.
experience some desert heat and then
No.
come back here.
Vegas is one of my spots. I've been to Albuquerque after the show in Albuquerque. Actually, I didn't realize how many black people were in Albuquerque.
You sound like me just now. You know what? And I hear that so much because before I moved up here, I had a lot of people that would ask me, do you need a green card to come up here? I'm like, what high school did you go to? Did you not hear me say New Mexico? We are above the Rio Grande, okay? The Rio Grande is, it runs through where I live at, but okay, we are above the
No, but not even just to New Mexico. I'd be surprised how many people like I have people that I work with music and models like, I've got you a gig in Orlando. I don't have a passport.
That's crazy. That really means the people. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Love to y'all, but some people, it's just like, boy, did you have
Like
to
somebody failed you. That's what it
Thank
is.
you.
Somebody failed you.
Thank y'all.
I wish one of my kids would be like, I need a passport. I will lose my mind.
It happens. It really does. All right. So we're going to come in for about almost 18, 19 minutes.
Okay.
Take another break, and then when we go into the 10 o'clock hour, pretty much run without commercial break. I try to get all my commercials and reads done in the first couple.
Okay.
I am just having over here.
I bet. Don't start snoring.
Oh no, I'm not tired, dude. This feels so good right now.
No,
He's happy over there, right?
look, but when he gets hot, he falls asleep. And when he falls asleep, he snores. And when he snores very loud.
We'll just let everybody know if you hear that, that is just.
Which brings us to our next topic. Sleep apnea.
Right.
Woo!
I turn red and say she's trying to tie my hair to keep it wet. Oh. Yes,
The worst experience I ever had snoring was I took a bus ride from here to Pittsburgh.
they was mad at you.
No, I got a standing ovation. No,
Oh, no. I didn't stand ovation.
How you get a standing ovation?
Because apparently I snored the entire bus ride to Pittsburgh.
Oh, my God. Or it could have been the time where you fell asleep in church.
So don't do that in church.
Oh,
They
my
will-
Which time?
He plays,
you talking about?
right. He plays the piano. He's a minister of music at his church. And he sits in the front playing the piano in front of everybody. The pastor stopped and looked at him and like, you okay?
That happened one time on my family prayer line. I told it wasn't me, it was somebody else. Fell asleep. I mean, just a whole symphony, and all of a sudden,
Oh, girl. Jesse, no, Dennis is not my husband. Dennis is one of my best friends, and he's my manager. But
we
together-
just family up in
Yeah,
here.
we're family. That's my brother. I wouldn't marry Dennis. That's nasty.
Oh my goodness.
I wouldn't marry you either. You light skinned.
Oh, so now we doing colorism in here now.
She ain't got her natural hair.
All right,
I
y'all.
pay
We're
you
gonna be
to
coming back in here after you hear the WMSK radio drop.
Okay.
So
Bye, friends.
enjoy your fan for like the next minute.
And he will hold it until the last minute.
If they weren't blasting the music
Right,
across the hall, I'd
yeah.
open the door. There'd be some airflow.
They're doing another station over there or the studio?
No, that's just two guys who play their music very loudly and call themselves recording. I haven't seen you put anything out. Now,
I
the
don't
real
know about the
producer
fallout.
is down the hall. Prophet's down the hall. He's
You here today?
I don't think he's here today, but every now and then I catch him up there. He busy. We don't sit still.
Oh, my.
Oh no, Jesse, you will never be. I'm legally married.
I'll never be what?
My husband. She said never
If
say
he was
never.
illegally married, I wouldn't be.
Wow!
Right. But if I cook it, big time to come eat.
When I cook, you come eat.
Don't tell nobody that.
No, you gonna make sure people know I can cook. For all the ladies out there watching. Oh, I was saying nothing.
My facial expressions are ridiculous.
All right, everybody, we are back. We are live right here, WMSKOnlineradio.com with the Lady Blue Radio Show. Make sure y'all are following us on Instagram and Twitter. You know Lady Blue is all over social media, but we'll get to that later. Let me tell you about a couple things that are going on. WMSK Online Radio presents the 6th annual Back to School Rally happening August 25th from noon to 3 p.m. This is a backpack giveaway for all ages. And let me tell you, There's a lot of back to school rallies that are going on, but this one I know every year it is off the chain with the backpacks, the kids, the uniforms, everything that's going on. So make sure that you get your donations in. There are 4 drop-off spots. 4. Okay. This is also being sponsored by Picasso Cuts, which is one of the drop-off points. Picasso Cuts Barbershop at 7171 Security Boulevard in Baltimore, Maryland. You can also go to the Maryland State Police Barrack, Golden Ring Barrack at 8908 Kelso Drive in Essex, Maryland. That's right next door to the county courthouse. And no, you're bringing in donations, so just walk through the front door and drop your stuff off, okay? Nobody's getting arrested. I hate it when people ask that. Yes, it's next to the courthouse, but you're coming in and you're thinking about the babies, okay? Don't worry about that. You can also drop off at Straight Drop Barbershop at 607 Reisterstown Road, Suite C in Baltimore, Maryland. That's behind the Domino's Pizza in Pikesville. You can also drop off at the LS Revival Center, 9627 Philadelphia Road, Suite 190 in Rosedale, Maryland. Make sure you call before you go over there and drop off. If you need to, you can contact Lady Blue. 443-847-5567. That's 443-847-5567. And we will make sure your items get to the LS Revival Center. So again, this is being sponsored by WMSK Online Radio, Picasso Cuts, Straight Drop Barbershop, Maryland State Police, Lady Blue, LS Revival Center. We got a lot of people in there. Backpacks, school supplies, school uniforms, everything that the babies need, whether they are in Baltimore City or Baltimore County. We want to make sure that we help our babies and our youth in this city with what they need. And the rally will be held at Picasso Cuts in Baltimore, Maryland. Anyway, second thing, y'all got that for your calendar for August 25th. Okay. Also, we are doing it again. Y'all know we busy. Okay, we are doing it again. Lady Blue, in conjunction with WMSKOnlineradio.com, presents the 4th annual 50 Shades of Blue Domestic Violence Awareness Conference. Join us as we step up and continue the fight against intimate partner violence. Experience this powerful event on October 20th from noon to 6 p.m. at the Pearly Recreational Center, 4633 Pearly Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland. We have a host of dynamic speakers to include Lakeisha Davis from Open Wide with Neek right here on WMSK Online Radio, and Troy Jones, founder of 108 and B6 men's support group right here in Baltimore. There are other speakers, local entertainment, giveaways, vendors, workshops, food, and loads of fun. And let me tell you, food-wise, y'all better get ready because we got Goodfellas Kitchen coming in to do the food, and the menu's off the chain. So y'all just better be ready to eat because Goodfellas don't play, okay? There is also wheelchair accessibility, ample parking, and even a playground for the kids. So this is a family event, so bring it all in, all right? So what are you waiting on? Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Just search for the 4th annual 50 Shades of Blue Baltimore or click the flyer on the WMSKOnlineradio.com website. Children 6 and under get in free with a paying adult, or students ages 7 through 17. You must have a ticket to enter the event, and group rates are available. For more information on sponsorship or how to get involved, please email 50shadesofbluebaltimore@gmail.com. That's 50 shades, 50 shades of blue Baltimore @gmail.com. And we hope to see you there. All right. Now that we got that out, let's jump in with my special guest, and that is Author Necol. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I am doing.
We got our little bit of Wendy going. How you doing?
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm glad to have you here in the studio. I'm glad that you joined me today. And, you know, I know you've got some things going on, so I'm going to let you have the mic. Tell everybody a little bit about you, where you're from, what you're doing, and then we'll get into, you know, the things that you have going on.
Okay, great. Well, I was born in Houston, Texas. However, I was raised in the glorious county of Montgomery, Maryland. I mean, I'm just a regular everyday person who decided to change her life. So I wrote my book, Not Built to Break, I Am Free. The entire book is considered chapter 1, and it's about the sexual abuse that I went through growing up from the age of 6 to 15. I've got a lot of great things going on. Some things I can tell you about, some things I cannot. Just be prepared to see some extraordinary opportunities coming my way.
Okay.
But what I am doing now is working on my second book, Not Built to Break, I Am Free, Chapter 2. And that one is about mental health and suicide. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to live my life. And I'm actually healing through writing my book.
Okay.
A lot of and what my books are about my own personal life story. So and I wanted to write them so people could get an idea, not get an idea of what I'm going through, but to get an idea of what I'm going through for the sake of the conversation, and to understand that they're not the only ones who have been through this. This is how I handle it, and this is what I've done.
Right.
And basically, I'm just here to let people know they don't have to be victims for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Surviving, thriving, living your life.
Right.
And that's basically what I'm doing.
And I think it's important because we as survivors, we always want people to know that you are not alone. And
Mhm.
I want to expound a little bit on that because we don't want it to seem like we're telling you that what you're going through is not important, okay, or what you're going through is not as maybe as detrimental or vilifying as what we may have been through, because everybody's situation is different. The thing that remains the same is the act, okay. How you went through it is different from how I went through it. So I just wanted to expound a little bit on that. So now you're saying that this first book is just chapter one. How many chapters?
Well, I don't know where I'm gonna stop. Wherever God or the Spirit leads me to continue, but 3 chapters is where I feel like I should stop. But if there's more, then I'll continue to make them. But I want to expand on, writing other books besides, my little, I guess you call it my life story.
Right.
I want to be able to go outside of the box and do different things, find my niche and you know, where I exactly need to be.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So what was it like for you? What was the process like for you in writing this?
Imagine taking a band-aid off of a wound and digging in that wound and it hurt.
Right.
I had to face things I didn't want to face. I had to come to terms with things I could not fix.
Right.
I had to come to terms with forgiving myself because I blamed myself for people hurting me. It was hard, but it was necessary.
Okay. And you mentioned a key thing there because I know I talk about it in my book and the other books that I've co-authored is that forgiveness of self.
Absolutely.
And understanding that forgiveness is something that's needed, not it's for you.
Absolutely, not for them.
Not for them. If they come along and say, okay, I get it, thank you, what can I do to help? That'd be fantastic. But unfortunately, that ain't happened yet for me, so I ain't worried about it.
9 times out of 10, it won't happen.
Right.
Like even in my book, I took the conversation that I had with one of the people who raped me. And of course they denied and everything, but I let them know I didn't come to you for you to say I'm sorry or to admit it because I knew that it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
I came to you so I can tell you that I forgive you. I came to you because I want you to protect your daughter from people like you. But then after I wrote that and I had this conversation with this person, I came to terms with sometimes you don't even need to go to that door to open it to ask for the forgiveness. Just put it out in the universe and move on with your life.
Right.
Because while you're holding on to it, this person is living their life. They're not even thinking about you, and you're dying inside.
Right.
I wanted to stop dying.
Right. They got that free rent and that space in your
And-
hand, your heart, and everywhere else.
Yes.
But let me ask you this, because I tell the people that I talk to, I tell them forgiveness is a daily thing. It's not, It doesn't just stop at the one time and then you're said, done, and you're free.
Right.
When you went through your forgiveness process, what was it like for you?
It was hard because I wanted them to hurt like they hurt me.
Right.
I wanted to take up the space, the free rent in their minds like they did for me. It took me, I started therapy, where I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, from the traumas that happened in my life.
Right.
I went to, her name is Nada Crystal Mitchell, and she was a spiritual counselor for me. And when I went to her, I was hurting and I was angry, and it took her some time to get through to me, but she let me, she said, give them back their pain. Give them back what they gave you because it doesn't belong to you.
Right.
And anything you projected on your children, you take that back from them because they don't deserve it. They didn't ask to give you. And that was hard for me to accept because I wanted them to hurt.
Right.
I did not want to take back the pain that I had given my children because I didn't want it.
Right.
I didn't want that pain, but you know, when you begin your healing, you look at your children and you're like, they don't deserve this. They didn't ask you. They didn't ask you to come here.
Right.
So that was one of the hardest parts. And then I don't know how many people believe in this or even do anything like this, but I went to a young lady by the name of India Richardson, and she owns a company called Womb Therapy Indeed, and she does vaginal stings, which is a holistic way of healing the woman's reproductive system. Now she'll tell you I'm not a doctor. I just if you need to go to a doctor, go to a doctor. But you know I'm here as preventative maintenance basically.
Right.
And so I got a vaginal sting,
Right.
and that experience for me was unlike any that I've ever had. It was like, so do you know how they do vaginal stings?
No.
Okay.
I have heard of everything you're talking about, though,
Right.
because I have seen it. It's something that I've seen, and it's in the back of my mind because I'm in the coming year or so want to start bringing things like therapy yoga and
Yes.
things like that,
Right.
and workshops.
So with a vaginal sting, they have a chair or a stoop or something that has a hole in the middle. They have a pot full of different herbs depending on what you're trying to accomplish from this. And the water is hot. They boil it for a while, and then they'll keep it on. You are naked from the waist down, and she puts a wrap around you, so it covers the entire chair and your body, and the steam goes into the area. I end the link. I'm sorry. In the comments, I'll put the link for her business. But for me, it was we used crystals and we did meditation and we did all that stuff. And she made me go into and forgive those people at that moment. And that's when I started going into people, talking to people. But I felt like I let go of all the hurt and pain in her pot. It was like I left it all there. And it was like a spiritual release. Even if it was me releasing the negative or the bad energy and stuff, that's what it was for me. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
Right. And there's, everybody has a different way of dealing. I know
Right.
I for me, it was an exercise that was given to me by a pastor that I did that I share in my workbook that's coming out. And it actually gave me that physical sense of the weight I was carrying and the things that I wasn't adding to my life. So that was kind of mine. And just to show you what it is that I did, the pastor told me to sit down and write a letter. Write a letter to everybody that you think has wronged you and this, that, and the other. And you start off in love. You mention everything that you feel, the hurt, the pain, all in the middle, and then you end with love. So don't end on a bad note. You start on a good note, you end on a bad note. And write it, put it in an envelope, and then release it without expectation. If you see the person, great. Okay, if you don't see the person, it's no thing. You left it, it's sealed, it's done. And then I had a little ritual, I burned all of it.
Right.
And then from that point on, I haven't looked back.
At that point, I don't think that I was at a place where I could have done that though, because I was still hurting, I was still angry, and to this day, I still deal with those things.
Yeah.
Like I talk about in my book where I blamed everybody but the people who hurt me. I blamed my mother for not protecting me. I blamed my grandmother for dying and not being able to protect me. But one thing that I still deal with to this day, and it's not going to be easy to get over, is
no, because it's still a day-to-day process.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying I'm sitting up here and I'm all squeaky clean and free. No, it's a day-to-day because there are things as you go throughout your life that will either trigger you or remind you or take you back to some place and where you have to go through that reflection period and bring yourself out of it without taking residence there.
Right. So to this day, I still deal with. I hate it. I don't hate him anymore, but I hated my father the most because you were the one who was supposed to protect me. So because of the things that I went through, because my father wasn't there, I was a fatherless child, and I was searching for my father in a lot of men, in a lot of different relationships and situationships
Right.
and things like that. And a lot of my relationships, it caused me to um, do some things that I shouldn't have done. I got married. I'm still legally married to my children's father, and it me not dealing with my own traumas and him not dealing with his, but we talking about me. So me not dealing with my own traumas brought a lot of issues to our marriage,
Right.
which is part of the reason why we have decided to split ways, because there are, I guess we just weren't strong enough for it to continue. But um he I was putting on him stuff that he had nothing to do with. He was being mentally or physically not he was being abused for things that he had nothing to do with.
Right.
So it wasn't fair to him. And so that's why I started therapy. That's why I started writing. That's why I started doing all these things. And what I had to realize, and it took me a very long time to realize this, is you can't fill a void with somebody else. And you can't fill that void with your father because he's gone. So you have to fill that void with something spiritual to heal you or something like that. So, I mean, that's just where I've been. We're going with this.
Okay.
But it's been a healing experience for me, and it's helping me to learn to love me, to love because it was harder for me to love my daughters than it was my sons, because I felt like my mother did not show me or love me the way that she loved my brother.
Right.
So I didn't feel it. So I did not have a good relationship with my daughters. But it was like I'm overbearing with the boy. I mean, I coddled my sons, but I was hard on my daughters.
Right.
And
You saw yourself in your daughter.
and I wanted to prevent it from happening.
If I can take just a quick
Sure.
minute, ladies and gentlemen, I just found out via the CEO of WMSKOnlineRadio.com, Aretha Franklin has just passed away. Aretha Franklin is gone. The Queen of Soul has now earned her wings, and she has gone home. I'm kind of glad I played the song before this came in. I don't know how it affects you all, but I grew up listening to Aretha. I have seen Aretha evolve from, the young lady, and I was a baby when I learned of Aretha Franklin, listening to her voice, seeing the things that she could do with her voice, seeing the influence that she had in music. And we just need to send out heartfelt prayers, condolences, play her music today. If nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, send that voice up to the heavens and let her know that we still love and we appreciate her as the Queen of Soul. So again, Aretha Franklin has just passed away. She was 76 years old, and from what I understand, she was battling cancer. I know she kept it out of the news, but she was battling cancer. So that's kind of a blow. That's kind of a blow. But let's go back a little bit before we go over to commercial break. You were talking about your process and things like that, and I understand where you were, because when you see yourself and your daughters, a part of you is fighting to make sure that they don't go through that, but at the same time, you're still fighting.
Right.
You're still fighting, and
Right.
the only way you can fight is to take it out on them, the thing you don't want to do.
Right.
So I do understand that.
Right.
And so going through this process and writing, how long ago did you start writing?
So in April, the end of April, I think it was like the last week of April, I wrote the entire book.
Wow, you picked that up quick.
Because you don't have to, when you're telling the truth and you're telling your own story, it just comes out. It flows. So I don't have to make anything up. I don't have to remember anything. I can tell you verbatim what I told you in the book, because it's the same thing that has happened. So it took me a week to write the book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. As a fellow author, I understand when you write your own story, you don't have to go and find anybody else to help you come up with scenarios and this, that, and the other. It just comes because you've lived it. You've been it. You've seen it, done it, and you can speak on it. And I think the thing of it is that when you see it on paper, what was your reaction when you finally saw it in print?
I cried. I was afraid. I started to let fear get in my head, and what are they going to think about me when they read my story? Are they going to believe me? And then something just said, "Who cares if they believe you? You know what happened."
Same thing I did. After
Yes.
yeah. You're like, who's gonna listen to this? Don't nobody want to hear this. Why not?
And even though I may only have 10 true followers. I don't know how many followers it is,
right.
because you may have some followers who don't say anything, but they watch your every move.
Right.
I knew that the book, there were so many things that were starting to happen that was trying to block the book from coming.
Right.
But I'm not saying this because it's my book.
Right.
That little book, it's only 56 pages, but that little book is so powerful.
56 powerful pages.
Yes, it is.
Trust me, my book is only like, I think, 62.
Yes.
And it's like, but in that 62, you're going to learn about me from kid stage to adult stage.
Yes.
So, I get it.
Yes.
So we're gonna take a little break right there, and we're gonna go pay some bills, and then come back and continue talking. But we're gonna break into the things about domestic violence and what you've seen and what you've experienced, and we just go a little bit back and forth with that. Okay. And I just made an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, with a very, very heavy heart, that Aretha Franklin has just died. And it's like, everything in my childhood walking out the door. Everything I grew up with walking out the door. But you know what? These are people that have had a profound influence on our lives growing up. Even in this generation, there are some of the millennials who understand the influence that this woman has had in the music industry. The music industry will never be the same. We lost Whitney several years ago. That was a voice that will never be matched. And now Aretha. So make sure that you play her music and you keep her in your heart and mind for at least for the rest of the week until we find out what funeral arrangements are. We're going to come back. This is Lady Blue of the Lady Blue Radio Show, live right here, WMSKonlineradio.com, where talk radio just got better. So keep it locked.
I'm sure they can hear everything from
And it's like it don't matter, but I ain't gonna.
You better than me, because I done went banging on the door.
I done already banged on the door.
Yes, ring the alarm. I don't think she heard me.
I just need them to turn it down a little bit. I mean, good gravy. It's like, come on.
That's good gravy. Hi, Mommy. I know you don't see me. Mom, are you at home with my children? Are they getting on your nerves yet?
Not something's wrong.
Yeah. Don't be
just being real.
And Nicholas is allowed in the room. But not them other ones, because they all be messing with their stuff. Did they come down? It don't look like, it don't sound like it. Okay, yeah.
Go ahead and turn on your fan.
So Dennis is about to cut on the fan for his 5 minutes of coolness.
I earned it.
Because he didn't fall asleep, so I'll let him have the fan.
And I got to do it.
Okay. He's ready a whole bunch of racket. Everybody, I just learned while we were on the show that Miss Aretha Franklin has gone on to glory to the other side. Or however y'all say it. Pray for her family in their time of sorrow.
Remember that the rose is still a rose.
A rose is still a rose in Tennessee.
One of my favorite songs by her is Say a Little Prayer. I love Say a Little Prayer. That is one of my favorites.
I don't know if I
A rose is still a rose, my favorite one by her. Cause when she came out with that one, I was like, you better go ahead with yourself with this little hip hop beat behind you.
Wait, wasn't it was hers? Who else was on the song with her? It was just her singing, but it was just them in the video with her.
Yeah, they do this in the video.
Oh, okay. That's from. Hey, Toya. It's from. Is it baby girl?
Yes, the flowers.
Yes, there's a flower.
We don't fall, cause we're on TV. And I will.
If I would have fell out this chair, y'all.
You went viral.
Oh my God. I just watched it. Hey, yo, if I would have fallen. Yo, that's all I say.
Gotta make sure to get the camera first.
No. Not help me up, but get the camera so they can see me on the floor. Excuse me. I cannot wait to go home and go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Nah, I finished writing. Hey, India, are you awake? Probably not, because it is. What time is it?
I think the way they put it on news, Aretha Franklin's dead and said he's
Oh,
sick.
doesn't that
Can
piss
you
you off?
just be a little bit more compassionate?
All you got to say has passed away. That's all you have to say.
Okay, yeah, we get it. I think I'll play this again. We'll play Respect one more time.
Play
I'm
Rose
gonna
to the
get some
Rose.
more. I'm gonna have to get some more.
Play a Rose to the Rose.
I don't have that one up here.
Oh.
It's not downloaded yet.
Good yet.
I'm sure it'll be here by
It's sad that it takes somebody to pass away for them to people to purchase her music and stuff again, and
well, it's, you know, I mean, Whitney, when she passed, her record sales went through the freaking roof.
Yeah, Michael too.
Aretha has been in the music scene so long that I would not be surprised to see one of these youngins say something derogatory about it, because they don't understand that the music that they're using today is theirs. They came up with it. They were, no matter what she did, it was original. It wasn't some, you know, she may have sang with others or did a different version of a song by somebody else. You saw her at the Kennedy Center Honors when she did Carole King's song, Natural Woman, you know. But the thing of it is that Carole King wrote it.
Oh, okay.
She sang it.
Okay.
And the thing of it is that Aretha made it her own. But, you know, Carol never stepped up and said, you know, that's my song. And Carole King took only the accolades for writing it. She said Aretha made the song. Mm-hmm. So, see, there's a difference. There's that appreciation as an artist versus just coming out here saying, you know, I did this, I did that. You did that.
Right.
It's the whole change in the industry.
Right. It's like I tell my kids, they like one day my daughter was in there in the car. She's just, oh, this beat is hot. I said, girl, that's Al Green. Right. She looked at me like I lost my mind.
Who was Al Green?
I went and I pulled up the song, and I started singing the Al Green lyrics before I pulled up the actual song. She goes, okay, Mom, you know what you're doing. And then I pulled up the Al Green song, and she just kind of looked at me. She said, wow. I said, exactly. Y'all been borrowing, and you don't give credit where credit is due.
I'm glad my kids know about all of that. My sister, my older sister is 10 years older than me. I have a brother who's 20 years older than me and a sister who's 16 years older than me. And from me being younger but having older siblings, my kids hear all of that music. So and thanks to Tyler Perry, they all know Love and Happiness, and thanks to Nana and Pops, my oldest daughter, and my oldest three kids know all about Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean,
but you know the other thing about Aretha is Aretha's voice never failed. Getting older, none of that. Her voice was still the same. She could still carry that tune. She could still hit them notes. She could still do all of it with no issue. You know, so even with her weight going up and down and all these other things, she was still.
She was a true diva.
Yes, she was.
There, yeah. If you were gonna say diva, that's diva right there.
Mhm.
Yes, I have to say that. Yes. I just think it's like Michael Jackson's death. This is a shock to the music world.
Yeah. And Prince. I was mad when Prince died.
That was musical genius gone out the door.
Yeah.
I really believe he was more like Jimi Hendrix reincarnated.
Uh-huh.
But I don't. Jimi Hendrix just played. He self-taught guitar. Prince pretty much played every instrument.
Yeah. He played every
He played
instrument.
every last living thing on every album, and then just his music line, but his natural line. He was on a level that the rest of us were not.
Right.
And it was the same thing with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was on a plane that most of us could not understand because he saw the world the way the world should be versus the way the world was.
He was playing by himself. He was piloting it.
Who, Prince?
No, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Prince was pretty much as well. I mean, you have to think when he came out and he said something, it made its mark, point blank. And I don't think a lot of when those artists like that hit, they weren't ready for that. Public was not ready for that kind of message. Now they gone. Now everybody listening to the message.
Right.
Oh, he has something to say. Why weren't y'all listening to it while it was alive? Thank you very much. He may not have, he may have had you guessing about his sexual orientation, but the whole thing about it is he made you think. Okay, that's the whole thing.
I don't care what he was doing. Have fun with what you doing, but keep on playing that good old music.
Just blank. Okay.
Yeah, but most artists aren't appreciated for that shit. They were painters, poets, authors.
Side note, happy birthday to Shay. I love you, and you're still bird. You still always be my bird. And you're still little, even though you're taller than me. And you get on my nerves, but I love you. Happy birthday. I'll call you later.
Like growing up in the 90s, I was a big fan. Like, I love Biggie. I respected Tupac, but now that they're both dead, and like I've been going back listening to things, like Tupac was such a pioneer, but because of that media beat that they had between them, it made like you couldn't like them both.
Right.
Like they doing Nicki Minaj and Cardi B right now. Like you can't like both of them.
That's crazy. When there is talent, people don't want to accept it as real. When it's not, and I say this gingerly, when it's not talent, when it's engineered, and basically they're peddling the physicality of the artist, and they see that as music more than, that's why we have so many one-hit wonders now. They come and they go. They get this massive amount of money, and, next thing you know, they done bought up everything and they gone. Hello, extension. Right. Okay.
Designer.
Yep. Some of these, like, they just, first of all.
Wait, extension talking about how do you really say it? Extentation or something like that?
It's extension. It's
Okay.
just, you got all them X's and it's spelled weird. But the thing of it is that you also got to look at the mindset. You did not see any artists back in the day walking around with $10,000 in their pocket.
I think it's
and
so
flashing
stupid.
it.
I think it's
so
okay.
stupid. Whereas,
when you get back in the day,
I'm talking about with back in the day. I'm not talking about like when hip hop started. Okay, like Run DMC and
even then.
Right. I'm going back.
It wasn't until like the 90s. The Bad Boy Death Row era.
There you go. You did not see anybody walking around fanning and flashing. Like, it's like, go sit down somewhere. We knew they have money because the first thing they do is they take care of home. They take care of this. They make sure the wife had the house, the mama had the house. There was a car so everybody could get around. They moved into the Jefferson status, the East Side status. Whereas now, you give them, they see the dollar sign, and they already picking out the Rolls, the Lamborghini, which gold chain gonna have the most diamonds in it, how low it's gonna hang, how heavy it's gonna be.
And they still live in the hood with their grandma.
Thank you. So what's the point? What is the point? If you do all this work to get out of the hood, that's great. But when you get your money, go back and try and rescue the hood that you came.
That's why I respect Rick Ross. That's why I respect Rick Ross.
That's good. How about that?
Right.
But I hate to say it, that's why I don't respect Nicki Minaj.
Why?
I'm sorry, Cardi B.
Why?
Once you get to a certain place, anytime that anybody who's in front of camera. It's a role model, whether you want to be one or not.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I respect the fact that you got your hustle on, you got yourself out of doing what you was doing. You're such a better place. But now, but now the influence that you have on females, young females,
right.
What are you teaching them?
Yeah.
You
Cardi
fucking
is
when you get
flashy.
some money?
Cardi is flashy.
Oh,
And
no.
she caught a lot of flack for when that young man was killed at the bodega.
Yeah.
She caught a lot of flack because she only gave up $8,000. She only gave up $8,000 to the family. Now you got a Rolls Royce, you got all this stuff, you flashing this oh my god baby crib you just got for your baby, and you can only give up $8,000 to the family.
Yeah, it's because there's plenty of other celebrities who gave money too. That's how I look at it.
Right, I got you, and I feel you on that one too. But you know what the celebrities really step forward.
I mean, I know
they're not obligated, and for her to give up the $8,000, that's a gift in itself. It's the way society looks at it is that you got all this money, why don't you just give up $8,000?
Boy, ain't nobody in society doing nothing either. That's how I look at it.
Right.
But
she wasn't obligated.
I saw an interview with Tupac where he was like, the problem with the U.S. is we got all these actors, musicians, other people making all this money, and we still have homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You walking around with $10,000 in your pocket. But what are you doing with it?
Right, and Joe that you used to talk to on the corner still on the corner with nothing to eat. Yeah.
But hold on, let's go back because you said something about Cardi B and what type of example was she giving. Let's go back to when we was growing up because I had little Kim Hardcore. Mm-hmm. Don't make me start singing lyrics. We had, baby, do you hear me?
No, I'm not disputing that stuff. I'm
hold that
conversation. What's going on right now.
Get ready to come back. Okay. Hold on.
It's on love.
You go ahead and sit right over there with that fan on, just like that. I'm gonna let you.
And he gonna stay just over there, just like that too.
If you need me to sit, I'll be like
reaching over the chair.
All right, everybody. We are back. We are live right here, Lady Blue Radio Show, WMSKOnlineRadio.com, home of Cheryl Underwood Radio, where talk radio just got better. Listen, y'all need to go on out and get your copy of State versus Us magazine. If you do not have the premiere issue, go get the premiere issue. Go over to the website. The second issue is coming out. Y'all need to get with it. The CEO of WMSK is on the first issue, and my son, the New York General, is on the second issue. Y'all are going to be missing out on some serious stories if you don't go and get this magazine. All right? It is State versus Us magazine, urban reality news, right in your hand, highlighting high-profile cases, wrongfully convicted stories, corruption in the prison system and police department, success stories of former inmates, entertainment, and more. Yes, there is eye candy in there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, out there. All right. If you have a story to tell, want ad space, or want a feature, you can email us at statevs.usmag at statevsUSMAG@gmail.com. You can get your copy today at stateversususmag.com. And you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at State versus Us magazine. This magazine is hot. The premiere issue has the CEO on the front, this connoisseur herself, Tia Hamilton, and the article is titled Boss Brand. That is her story, written by yours truly. That's right. Lady Blue wrote that story right there. And there's other stories in there. You got Black Ink Chicago, Cobra. You've got Philadelphia Freeway. You've got Ivan J. Bates. You've got a lot of good stories in that. And then, like I said, on the second issue, you've got my song, the New York General, on the front. I ain't going to give away the stories that are inside because you all have to get the issue. Okay. It's hot. So make sure that you grab your copy today. So we're going to come jump back in with my special in-studio guest, author Necol. And we just got finished talking about her book. What's the title of your book again?
Not Built to Break, I Am Free.
And that's just chapter 1.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is just chapter 1. So we will anxiously await chapter 2. But we're going to talk about some of the things that have been going on around the country. And I just want to ask you some questions just to get your viewpoint. Okay? Because I had the question asked of me, do you think domestic violence is more serious now than it was back then, or is it more prevalent now than it was back then? And when I say back then, dip back into the 40s, 50s, go back to the 20s, if you will.
I will say things change, but they always remain the same.
Okay.
Domestic violence has always been here from the beginning of time. And domestic violence is not just physical abuse; it's mental abuse, it's sexual abuse, it's
That wonderful thing I like to talk about called layers.
Yes.
Layers, folks.
Yes.
It is spiritual, it is mental, it is
Yes.
physical, it is emotional, it is
financial.
financial. Okay. The mental part is huge because
Mhm.
you're dealing with people who are narcissistic, sociopathic. They could be depressed. They could be a whole lot of different things in that realm. Financial, withholding money, taking you away from family. Gaslighting is another
Mhm.
form of that. And when I say we're experiencing that with our current administration.
Mm-hmm.
I have no shame in my game calling out number 45 because he's good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people still buy it and think that it's okay. It's not okay because it's affecting you, me, and everybody else that is in the United States and beyond. But getting back to our conversation, you're saying, it's here, but it's not so much in the home anymore. Because we're seeing it out on the street. We're seeing it out
everywhere. Nobody's hiding it. I don't know. Obviously, I was not born back then. I can only just tell you about stories.
Right.
One story that's close to me. There's two stories that's close to me. My mother was in a domestic violence relationship for 10 years. My father used to beat my mother to the point where you did not recognize her. And she moved from Maryland, where she was from, away from her family, to Texas, where my brother and I were born, and she didn't have family there.
Right.
And my family didn't help her there. And then finally one day, it was bad. And one day, my mother picked me and my brother up. She sent my older sister up the road to my grandmother, and then she picked us up, and we drove in her little bucket car in '83, and been in Maryland ever since.
Now, I don't think what a lot of people that I think don't understand is there's so much disassociation.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned a part of it, the separation from family that you know. It plays on the children because the children are seeing this. It's not just the adults. It's not, there's this progression. And somewhere in there, the chain has to break.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to say no because it gets to the point where when you learn later on in life, grandma went through it, auntie went through it, my best, cousin TT went through it, and all this other good stuff. And you're just like, wow, I had no idea.
Well, see, the thing with me was, I'm gonna get you before you get me. I would fight a girl. I fight a guy. I did not care. But then I got to the point where if he hit me back, I'm calling him all types of derogatory names and stuff like that. And my second story would be the domestic violence that I've gone through even in my marriage.
Right.
My husband is verbally abusive. To me, to the kids, to everybody. He don't care. He will joan on everybody, but I feel like me and my children get it worse than everybody else. And one day I've hit him with a car. I have stabbed him. He has physically, abused me, but most of the time I cannot lie. He was defending himself and stopping me from hitting him because I knew he wouldn't hit me. And when an abuser knows that somebody won't fight back, they continuously keep going.
They find the niche and they work it.
Yes.
I think, and one thing I do want to ask you, because you just mentioned a good point, because you talk about there's physicality on both sides, whether it be defensive or offensive. But it comes up a lot with same-sex relationships. Okay, and I say this because, and y'all can disagree or agree with me. It doesn't matter. We will have speakers from the LGBTQ community coming in for 50 Shades of Blue. But the thing of it is, we're seeing it now a lot, especially in the sports world. These women don't get what they want. The relationship breaks off. Okay, I'm gonna speak on the sports relationship. The relationship breaks off. He's off doing his thing. He's still earning his money. She's a woman scorned, so she gonna figure out, well, I know the best way I can get it. So they pull the domestic violence card. Okay, we found that most of these women just do it because they're losing the lifestyle they've become accustomed to. How do you feel about women who pull that card because they make it hard for the ones that are actually going through it. When they get to the police or get to that and they see they're in a certain type of situation, it's just like, oh, well, you know, you just hurt because you're not getting any more money. But if they're actually, the latest one was the girl whose friend put her picture up on, and the friend is doing all the talking, and the friend is doing all of
Right.
that, but she's not saying anything.
So that's where it begins, where they start victim shaming people for telling their stories. For the women who are really being abused, they don't want to tell because they're going to say that I'm lying or they're not going to believe me.
Right.
Because you have women who are lying, saying that these things are happening and they're not. And then you have the ones who, once they break up, and like the situation you're talking about, now all of a sudden they want to come out.
Right.
Well, why? I can't say why aren't you saying anything then, because I understand that sometimes you're scared to say stuff.
Right.
But she needs to check her friend and tell her friend she needs to stop.
Right.
Because it's going to cause more problems for her, not the friend.
Right, because both parties lose on both ends.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if he still goes on with his career and he's making money, and you are over there still trying to figure out how to get by.
Still ain't gonna get no money
Thank
from
you.
him.
The money ain't gonna. It's
The
just
money
not
ain't
coming.
gonna fix the situation. It's not coming.
It's not coming. Now, in the same-sex relationships, and I hope to hear from my LGBTQ community, but you see in these relationships, like it could be man, woman, doesn't matter. One is dominant, one is not. They get into a physicality fight. Let's take it to 2 women. They get into a physicality fight. One has just, gone off on the other. But when the police show up, they pull the woman from her.
Right.
To me, that's offensive.
Yes.
You want to go in and you want to box like Mike Tyson. You want to walk around and be all of this and carry yourself a certain way. But when somebody finally taps your button or clocks you upside the head, now all of a sudden you're female.
I'm a woman, don't hit.
Right. And I that's the only way that I know how to put it, because to go in and say I'm the butch, dom, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, you're still a woman all together.
Yes.
Okay. You go around fighting, being physical, even if it's a man that you're in a relationship with. To me, you want to come out boxing like Mike Tyson, you gonna get clocked like Mike Tyson.
Because people will, even if they don't mean to. Like my husband has clocked the mess out of me because I threw his stuff out the window and I hit him, or I did something. I don't remember what happened that time, but he punched me in my eye. And I was like, oh my God, you gonna hit me? Are you a bee? It was his reaction.
Right.
People are not going to continuously keep letting you hit on them and they're not doing anything.
Right. Now that brings up my next point. Okay. And I'm giving you different points because I posted a video about a man who was filming his girlfriend basically beating on him for not agreeing or doing something.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Okay. And a lot of the comments were, he needs to get out now.
Yes.
He needs to do this. Now, we need to understand the way men are raised. Men are raised not to hit on women if they're raised correctly. Okay. Defend yourself? Yes. Just hit just to hit? No. So this man was not striking back against this lady. And she was doing there. She was grabbing his face, scratching his face. She was beating him upside the head. She had her phone in her hand. She was, fists and all were going on this man. He was not raising a finger to this woman. But you've also seen videos where the guy is doing his best not to, and he just gets to that one point where it's just like, okay, that's it, boom, and then everybody's like, oh, you just hit a girl. It's just like, okay, wait a minute, did you not just see what was going on 10 minutes before?
If the girls were raised right, they wouldn't be hitting people.
Okay, there you go. You
My
got
mother,
something to say? Go ahead.
well, I had an incident when I was probably a preteen with a girl at church
Okay.
who came up and slapped me. And my reaction was I slapped her back.
Okay.
My mother wanted my mother to beat me and this and that. My mother said, my mother raised me, my sister that. She said the same thing to me, my sister do. Said, I'm a boy. I'm not supposed to put my hands on a girl.
Right.
You are a girl. You're not supposed to put your hands on a boy.
Right.
When you put your hands on someone, you are giving them permission to hit you back.
You open the door.
You
Okay.
open the door.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Not saying that it's right for you to do that, but
Right.
if you hadn't put your hands on them first,
Right.
there would have been no issue for them to hit you back. Just like my mother's a counselor, she said, a kid came to her one day and was like, someone is chasing me. Stop running. You can't chase someone who's not running.
No, that's true.
if you stop yourself from doing certain actions, certain reactions can happen.
I like that. You can't argue with that. If you do something that causes somebody to react, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences. I think a lot of people don't deal with the consequences of what will come behind all of that.
And you know what men should start doing though? Start getting these women arrested.
You think?
Because my husband did that. It was
that happens very few and far between.
He said if I would have left before the police came, he wouldn't have pressed charges up and he would have left went on about his business. This before we started having kids. And it was the dumbest reason for me to be out there trying to fight that man. And that day he would not hit me. Girl, the police came and I just started talking. I still thought I was big and bad. I got arrested. My bond was $100 and my mama made me sit in there for 4 whole days. The only reason she came and got me because she said I ain't watching your kids no more.
Get these hellions
right
now.
Listen, I only had 3 kids then. And now I got 8. So she was like, you get locked up, you better find a way to come home. So I'm not taking
I'm the babysitter.
You know what? Like, can you watch my kids while I get locked up?
Now listen, to branch off what you said, okay? We need to stop telling our children, especially we need to stop telling little girls, oh, if he hits you, he likes you.
Oh my God, yeah.
I cannot stand that statement because in a sense that's almost condoning the violence because you're going to say, okay, well, the only way I'm going to know if you like me is if you punch me in my arm or if you knock me down or if you slap me. Okay,
right.
Who knows? Maybe the little girl liked you. Who knows? Okay, but at the same time, no, we basically are condoning that type of violence in my opinion. If we're telling our babies it's okay. If he hits you, he likes you. No. If she pinches you, it's okay. That means she's flirting with you. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, love is not supposed to hurt, as far as I know.
I'm sorry. Get married and then let him pinch you, okay? Right. Because that's a different kind of pinch. But anyway, the whole point is that we're giving our young people the wrong idea, okay? And then let's move it up a little when we're talking about our babies. Let's move it into the preteens and the teenagers and the young adults because they've either witnessed it or they watch this on TV or they're influenced by music, by video games, by whatever they're seeing. Who do we blame or do we blame anybody in this regard?
I think, okay, so I was just having this conversation and we were talking about how these kids these days don't understand, they don't appreciate nothing, they bad, this and that, blah, blah. But who are the people who raise these kids? Our generation. So where do we drop the ball? Why are we not teaching them? Why are we not, get somebody to, if you don't know how to teach them how to do it, find somebody who can. And you learn at the same time.
Because our kids right now, today, we call them millennials, we call whatever you want to call them. The kids today, and you hear it constantly, especially from us in what we're talking about, it starts at home.
Absolutely.
If they are learning it at home, if they're seeing it at home, if they're not being diverted at home, what do you think is going to happen when they get out on the street?
They're going to do the same thing out on the street that they're doing at home.
These mothers, and I'm not going to call, there's some that I've seen and I've witnessed. Stop cussing and yelling at your little boys and then doting on the little girls like they're the only right thing in your life. You have these boys. You need to teach these boys about respecting a woman. We say it all the time. I tell my boys, the way you treat your mama is the way you're going to treat the woman in your life. If you disrespect your mama, you best believe you're going to disrespect her because nothing that she says is going to matter.
Girl.
And
if you ain't talking to me right now, but I don't discriminate. I cut them all out.
Right.
I get so frustrated.
Some people need to be cussed out. That's just be real, okay? Some people just need to be read.
Yeah.
But other times, you've learned. Let's just put it that way. You've learned. Okay, I've learned. There's things you say and you don't say. Again, this is another topic we will be talking about it. 50 Shades of Blue.
Yes, 50 Shades of Blue.
Okay.
There.
We're going to be talking about teen violence and teen domestic violence and teen dating violence because teens need to understand that they have a right to say no, that their body is theirs, that if they feel uncomfortable, we say it to the little kids, stranger danger and all this other stuff. But do you talk to your young adults?
No.
Do you talk to them and say, okay, he calling here too much? Who is he to be telling you how to dress and where you need to be and so on and so
Ooh,
forth?
that
This my house. You live with me. You don't live with him. These are the things you got to rein your kids in.
My daughter is 24, my oldest daughter, and I tell her the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let him talk to you like
Right.
that.
And I spoke about a story last week coming from Manchester, England, about a 24-year-old and a 19-year-old that met on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
2 days in, he started controlling when she was supposed to show up, what time she was supposed to show up, what she was wearing. 4 days in, he called it a relationship. He didn't want her speaking to nobody on her Instagram account where they met, and she has 5,000 followers. He didn't want her. He would wait for her outside her job. She worked a 12-hour shift. She was in the medical field. She worked a 12-hour shift. He would be out there every day waiting for her. If anybody else, he had his friends in on the mix, calling her and threatening her and berating her. He threatened her with a pool cue. She was getting ready for a date. He came to pick her up. Her mom said she looked nice. He got mad because the mom gave her a compliment and told her to go back upstairs and change. She did it. Okay. He harassed her to the point where he did what I call power dialing.
Mm-hmm.
He called her 30 plus times in a 30-minute period. That's a call a minute. Got mad because she wouldn't answer the phone. She was literally scared. Her parents saw her turn into a shell of herself, withdraw, not her bubbly self, not doing the things that she normally would do. But when they got to court, guess what he tried to do? Flip the script and say it was her. All the proof was sitting right there.
Right.
But he tried to say it was her who was harassing him and didn't want him speaking to his girlfriends. Okay, well, first of all, you come in and say your girlfriend's and she's supposed to be your girlfriend. Girl. Secondly, your relationship happened too fast because speed dating, I heard of speed dating, but come on. They saw each other for 4 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
That's first thing. 4 days straight. Go on a good date, but give yourself a break.
Right. Right.
I like you, but I got other things in my life.
Right. Give me my space.
And there's also now he's restrained from seeing her for the next 5 years, and he has to serve jail time and all this other stuff, and pay her court costs and whatever and whatnot.
And his friends didn't do anything to her.
They didn't say anything about the friends, but mainly him. But what got me was the fact that he had his friends. His friends agreed to call.
So what type
harass
of hold
her.
did he have on them?
Thank you. It is amazing what a narcissist will do to make themselves feel superior and to make you feel inferior. And when I say inferior, they will make it like nothing you've done in your life up to this point matters. And you know darn well before you met this person, your life was golden. Period. Golden. Okay? Think Jill Scott. Living it like it's golden.
Girl,
okay?
I was thinking that. I listen to her that song every day.
You know, and as I'm sitting here talking and we're having this conversation, please understand, I am not sitting here telling you how to live your life. I am not sitting here telling you what you better do. Okay? I'm speaking to you as a person who has been through it. But again, you have got to reach your final sick and tired of being sick and tired. Of being sick and tired. In order to step away. When I had my sick and tired moment, I stood toe to toe with mine and I said, could you just go ahead and swing and get this over with so I can get the heck up out of here? That's literally what I told him. Do what you gotta do so I can get out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of this, so on and so forth. Because I was literally turning into a couch potato. I gained weight, all this other stuff. Now, when he saw me 6 months later and I lost all that weight, first thing out of his mouth, who you losing weight for? Well, certainly not you.
Why? Oh my God.
Right.
Lady Blue, why is that always the first thing that people say to you? Who you getting? Right. You had that issue.
Right.
Like, can I get cute for myself?
Thank you.
Can I love on myself? I had to tell my husband, he's still legally my husband, so I still call him my husband. I had to tell him, I don't need to get dressed up for nobody else but myself. I'm loving on me. I'm sorry that you ain't used to this.
I want to feel like a girly girl for a little while.
Even if I want to feel like a girly dude for a little while. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. I want to be able to do if I want to get up and brush my teeth 3 times a day and I used to only do it once or I didn't do it at all.
Right.
I'm doing this for myself because I'm loving on myself.
Right.
Y'all, listen, I know that she brought this up, but hear me when I say love on you first, because if you don't love on you, if you don't start getting the treatment or the healing that you need for your own past traumas, not to bring into another relationship, you are going to be angry all your life.
The roller coaster.
It's going to keep going and keep going. And I used to blame it on my husband and be like, I'm tired of going through this roller coaster. I just had this epiphany just now. I'm tired of going through this roller coaster with him. He keeps doing such. No, I was allowing him to put me on that roller coaster.
And that's another thing. Learn to take responsibility.
Yes, indeed.
It's a hard road, people. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat anything.
No, ma'am.
Give me a second. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat anything. Okay. Being a victim is hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Being a survivor is hard too, because it's a daily struggle. We don't just come out of it and say, "Thank you, Jesus, I'm done," and go on with life. It's a daily struggle because there are things we learn to get through, we learn to focus on, we learn to get it through. That's why I'm so eager to get my workbook out, because we talk about being the angry survivor. We talk about, teens in domestic violence. We talk about men in domestic violence, because men, and I said I was going to talk a little bit about this today, why men are not as vocal when it comes to being the victim of domestic violence. So, women are.
It makes them look weak, and they don't want to look weak.
Okay. See, she just said it.
Okay.
What you have to understand is, for a man, and the way society puts it out that a man is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
He is not supposed to cry. He is not supposed to limp out. He is not supposed. If you see a man and he's got a black eye and some bumps and bruises, the first thing you ask, man, what bar brawl you got in? Your mind thinks that he got into it with the fellas. You don't think that maybe, just maybe, it was his girlfriend, his significant other. And there have been videotapes, trust me, of females that have gone after their boyfriends when they tried to break up with the stiletto. Okay.
It was not that old goat on the phone.
Thank you.
They
just recently had a video on YouTube of a guy who took his girlfriend. Family was there, everything, at Applebee's. And she didn't want nobody to know she was at Applebee's. She had that mentality. And the minute everybody started singing Happy Birthday and came out, she flung the dessert right in his face. That right there is domestic violence. Right, and the family was sitting there like, oh my gosh, what do we do? She wanted him to spend money. He was trying to be frugal and include everybody in her celebration. Okay? It just happens in so many different ways and forms. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's just blatant and right out there. Okay? And you don't know that it's actually happening. I think that's the thing. When you don't know it's happening, that's when it's happening.
Women are just as physically abusive and mentally abusive as men are.
Thank you. Y'all should have seen the movie with Demi Moore. Thank you very much.
Which one was that one?
I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was also, Bad Bosses with
yes, I know what you're talking about.
Jennifer Aniston, where she played the female dentist, the owner of the dentistry, and she was all up on it. You in your mind, you're thinking, wait a minute. She picked on the weakest guy in there. She didn't pick on the best looking ones that were in the office. She picked on the weakest one in the office, and she played on it. It was the same thing with the office, the movie with Demi Moore. I have to remember the name of the movie. She played that female mogul who felt she had the power to do that. Okay, let's think about the movie Fatal Attraction. Okay, Michael Douglas was the victim. Glenn Close was the aggressor. But in that movie, she knew when to play the female card. She knew when to become demure and become the kitten. But when she was alone with him, that lioness came right on out. And she let him have it. So men are taught to not show their emotions. Whereas we as females, we'll show emotion all over the place 24 hours a day. That either. Yes. Men are taught to keep it inside. Men, I'm telling you right now, cry, scream, holler.
That's a release.
Do whatever it is you need. If you got to do it in private, fine. Nobody said you had to step outside and let everybody see.
Right.
Okay? Do whatever you got to do. We tell females, we tell children to seek therapy, seek help, seek counseling. Do the same for yourself. I mean, yes, you are the man. Yes, there is a role that has been put upon you on this earth by God to be the provider, to be that strength, to be that protector, to be that umbrella. But you know what? You also are a person who has feelings. You also are a person who has thoughts. You also are a person who loves, hates, all of those good emotions, good or bad, that come in. You're a human being. and you should be treated like one. And nobody deserves abuse.
Mhm. And once you get out of it, do not get back into another one.
That's the hard part.
Do not get back
That's
into
the
another
hard
one.
part.
I have a friend, Lala Moore. She's a IFA. She's in Year of a Priestess. And her message the other day was, stop going back to what God is taking you out of.
Yep.
You're allowing yourself to be in those situations and then asking God, why am I still here? And God is looking at you like, because you put yourself
He
there.
closes the door, and most of us run back trying to force it open.
Trying to force open the door or climb through the window.
And force it open. And you know what? When God closes the door, leave it closed. Because guaranteed there is another door opening and you're missing it because you're too busy looking back at the one that was closed.
Mhm.
Want to get back in, like you just said.
Yeah.
Want to
Getting
get
back
back
to what you were just saying a minute ago,
Mhm.
I was having a talk with my daughters,
Mhm.
they're 13 and 12. We were talking about abuse stuff. Abuse is not always just beating on somebody.
Right.
One thing that I told them, that because I've seen women do it a lot, I told them not to do it themselves. When not all women are like this, but that taking your finger and poking a man in his face, hate.
I hate that. No, I hate that. I hate that. You know, there's not a lot of things that this positive person will tell you that she hates, but that is one thing that I abhor to the fullest. You don't want nobody in your personal bubble, but you think you got the right to be all up in their ear and upside their head, poking them in the head, and this, that, and that, and pushing on their head, and you know this, that. Come on, really?
But like someone didn't agree with me, but I believe that before breaking, no one can do to you, in a sense, what you're gonna allow.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that, yeah, somebody can walk up to you and just hit you.
Right.
But I can leave.
Right.
To be continually beat up on them, in a sense.
She said, I can hit the back of the The whole point is to walk away from it. If they follow you, you know what? Keep walking. Because you know what's happening is that they're trying to figure out how to deal with this emotion that they can't put off on somebody.
Mhm.
It's like when you tell a person in a bad mood, hello, that just disrupts all their whole entire, bad moods. Okay? Because you've just thrown a glimpse of positive or happy into the pool of darkness. And they're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do.
Right.
It's the same thing when you walk away. They have to learn how to deal with that emotion. Most of them won't face it head on. Most of them don't know how to deal with the truth. Most women and men only know chaos as a form of normality.
Mm-hmm.
So to tell them that there's something outside of that, they ain't gonna believe.
Girl, if you ain't speaking to me
They're
today,
not gonna believe it. Chaos is what they know, and they will push to get an argument just so they feel that everything is normal, and then bring you back into the honeymoon stage. Okay, so the cycle is there. Okay, and the levels are there. Again, I say sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it's just blatant right out there, so you know what's happening. Okay, it happens on the metro bus, it happens in the grocery store, it happens in church, it happens in school, it happens on your job, it happens at home. Where else can I tell you it happens? It's happening up in Capitol Hill. It is happening everywhere. But what I also want to make sure that you understand is what we see as abnormality here, somewhere else may be the normality. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about in countries like in villages in Africa, in other third world countries where the man, he gonna do whatever he gotta do. And if that means knocking his wife upside the head and dragging her back in the house, that's normality to them. Okay? And we need to turn that around. We need to, I understand long traditions and history and ancestral things, but at the same time, we're here, we're now. The rate of gang rape and domestic violence and acid throwing, that's a form of domestic violence in India, where they throw acid, because they figure if I deform you, then nobody's going to want you. Okay. We have to think of the mutilation, sexual mutilation that goes on with some small girls that apparently is considered a rite of passage, whereas to here it's considered a form of abuse.
it is.
Okay, so you have to be able to open yourself up to what we go through and what others go through may not be the same, but in the end, any domestic violence agency around the world wants the same thing. They want the end to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have women, the women in India or in Africa or India that wear the pink. They're gonna let you know, no, you ain't coming up in here with that. We'll beat you right back outside the door. Okay. Okay. They just had the story, the young lady who's that was pregnant, and her boyfriend shot her because he didn't want her to have a baby. He's getting out of jail. And she freaked out.
Are you talking about just recently they put the story up?
Yeah, it was just recently.
No, he set her on fire.
Okay, set her on fire. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Because there's so many stories
Yes.
out there. He set her on fire. She gave birth prematurely. She went into a literal anxiety attack when she found out that he was getting out.
Mm-hmm. But what judge? What's wrong with the judge?
We ain't gonna even speak on the judicial system because that's a good old boy system that needs to be.
Girl.
Okay.
Just put women in there.
We need to just a few final thoughts. A few final thoughts. We need to look at the fact that you have a lot of people that feel, okay, the kids belong with the mother because the mother gave birth. Nope. Have you looked at the situation with the mother? Not every mother is meant. She may have had the kids, but that don't mean she knows how to raise them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these dads, she may have had the kids, but that doesn't mean she knows how to raise them. Some dads, and I have a friend of mine who fought for his daughter and got his daughter. You know, okay, second friend. Okay, but my point being is we got to stop just assuming because she carried a baby for 9 months and she kicked the baby out, that makes her a mom.
Dogs have babies too.
Thank you very much. And just about everything has babies, okay, flies included, okay. But the point I'm making is you've seen the videos. They just had a video. I just tagged a few people, and it was the father who lost custody of the children he took care of for the 9 years the mother was in jail. She gets out, the judge awards her custody of the kids. She has not known these kids. She has not raised these kids. These kids were livid. They did not want to go with her.
I remember that story.
You destroy the children when you do that. You don't think about the welfare of the children. The social services system is overloaded. They're putting babies back with violent parents and then trying to answer the question after these babies are gone.
And then taking kids from families where they're good families.
Thank you.
And the kids end up getting hurt in the foster system.
Thank you. We've got the immigration thing going on. We've got the DACA thing going on. We've got a lot of things involving families and children. We've got domestic violence that's going on with these families that are in hold for immigration. You've got sexual assaults that are going on. You've got all of these
children in Pennsylvania.
It's going on. You've got the situation with the priests in the Catholic Church where you have one priest that said, okay, somebody's, noticed what's going on and now it's out, okay, it's out. What do we do? Where do we stop? Where does the cycle break? When do we break the chain? That is my, real quick, as we come down to the end of the show, that's going to be my motivational message for you. But Necol, I want you to give everybody, information on how to contact you, where they can find you. We will put that up on the Lady Blue Talk Radio group page, how they can get your book, and then I'll go into my message.
Okay. So you can find me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram at I am Necol Scott, Necol. And Facebook, my personal page is just Necol Scott, Necol. You can also purchase my book from my website at IamNecolScott.com. Then that's where you find me.
All right. I want to thank you for being in here today.
Thank you for having me.
You know what? The door is open. Come back when everyone come back.
As soon
Because
as
I
I
like discussions like this. Okay.
Bring
Bring that crown.
I'll
She
be
said she
back.
bring the crown home. Miss Lorraine. Miss Lorraine.
I'm bringing it home.
It has been claimed. Okay. Anyway, love you, Miss Lorraine. Okay. And you gotta bring some more of your beauties up in here, girl. Okay. But thank you for being here today. I love lively discussions like this. They make my day. And it lets people know that, there are real people going through real things out here. And, Hollywood is, as much as we love our celebrities, we got to remember that stuff is just fake. But when I tell you I'm bringing you real people with real stories, with real domestic violence issues, you best believe I ain't playing. So thank you again, Necol, for being here.
Absolutely.
And thank you for my in and out guest over there for your opinion. Because you spoke up for the men, you spoke up for your children, and that's important. We need to hear from the men. The men need to be heard. Point blank. That's why we have male speakers at 50 Shades of Blue. Y'all just don't know. 50 Shades of Blue is going to be off the chain. We got male speakers. We got our youth ambassador we just picked up who's going to speak to the youth. We've got, we've got the men and the women that have been through this, that have experienced this, that know what it's about. We have the state police coming in to talk about the difference between a peace order and a protective order. We have those things that are happening. So make sure that you mark October 20th down and be in the building with us. It is a ticketed event, so make sure you get your ticket. My motivational message for you today is break the chain. So much that may have been going on in your family history that you don't know about. Sit down with your grandpa. Sit down with your grandma. Sit down with TT. Sit down with whoever you got to sit down with. Find out about your family. See what's going on. You'd be surprised what you learn about your grandparents, about what they've been through, about what they did to make sure that their children have, so that their children make sure you have what you have. History is supporting you. Your family, believe it or not, even if they don't talk to you, their history supports you. So if you find that there's some abnormality in your family line, find out how you can break the chain. Support your family member. Don't just talk down and tell them, get over it. It's easy to say. It's not easy to do. Okay? So make sure that you break the chain. That's my motivational message for you all today. Thank you all for being with me today. You can find Lady Blue all across social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Blastby, Twitter, everywhere. Okay? And then I have my pages that are on Facebook as well. Join us come in the morning. Covenant Connection with my husband on Fridays, 50 Shades of Blue, Lady Blue Radio Show, the Lady Blue Positivity page, and there's shows for everybody here on WMSK from Sunday through Saturday, so make sure that you tune in. You've got Lyrical Paradox, you've got Spiritual Nourishment, you've got Open Wide with Geek, you've got Let's Talk Baltimore, there's all sorts of shows, and the Cypher on Friday, so make sure you tune in. As I always say, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, live out loud, be a blessing to somebody, because you never know, you may be the only Bible that they get for the day. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy, it does come in the morning, and I'm going to continue walking in my authority. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to my special guests. Thank you for you all for tuning in with me. We will be back next week. Peace out.
Like that. She said, I love it.
All right. All I need to do is get photos.
Okay.
And then, are you a member of my Lady Blue Talk Radio group?
I will be today, but I can't do it until I charge my phone because it died.
Okay.
While we go live.
Find the Lady Blue Talk Radio group.
Okay.
Ask to become a member so I can put you on there, and then that way you can put your information on there.
Okay.
We can post all of that, and then I will share it on the radio show page as well as across my social media and on Instagram.
Okay.
So
I just sent you a friend request.
Okay. Oh, I need to stand up.
oh, Mark.
Oh, God.
Okay, let me get some pictures.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then, like I said, bring a group. We have group rates for groups of 6 or more for the event.
Okay.
So if you want to bring 5, 6 friends, the group rate for 6 is $48, and all 6 can get for all 6 people to get
Okay.
That's the group rate. Any more than 6, then it goes to a piece, or if it goes to there's another 6, you can buy another,
Okay.
thing, or we can incorporate them all in and just make it a different price.
Okay.
So get a picture of you.
Where you want me to stay?
Let me get the boxes out of the way. These are for our back to school drive, so you just stand right from there. You can go that way. Oh, okay. Well, then you do your thing. Button down there.
Yeah. You suck my stomach in.
I don't know when you're going to do that.
Oh, no, get over it.
Let me take one to my phone.
That's what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay. Well, thank you all.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for the hot box in here. We could have had hot yoga today, so you know.
Just Dennis likes to get hot.
That's right back maybe.
What you not?
But yeah, share the event, do your
Okay.
thing. I hope to see everybody there. The door is open whenever you want to come back, talk on issues,
Well,
whatever.
as soon as that, bring that crown home on the 25th, I'll be here.
Bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Miss Lorene, Lady Blue's waiting for us.
Yes, because I told her to bring herself all back in here.
That's my birthday.
Told her to come on back.
You know her birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to the party?
I had to work.
I didn't go because I didn't have all white and she wasn't cussing me out.
Yeah, no, I had to work, so that wasn't happening.
Oh, okay.
But thank you all. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
See you next
Okay.
week.
See you.
Next week was next week.
I got to do it for you.
You bringing everybody in here.
Yeah, I see. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
See ya.
All right. You want to open and close?
Yes, God, we will.
Okay.
Thank you.